5 points lower on the Nifty. We've got about 270 points cut as far as the Sensex is concerned. And we're just starting up with the first rates as they come up on your screens. We'll look at the indices and we'll look at stocks after that. So 24,790 is where we are at. So it's a flat, slightly lower kind of start. 55,600 is where the Bank Nifty is at, again about 0.19, 0.15% lower. Sensex is at about 81,358. About a quarter down. Small cap index a quarter down. The mid cap index is, I think, also down about a 0.25%. So uniform 0.25% cuts across the board at this point. Right out of the gates, it's largely 1:1 in terms of advanced decline, although that will start to show up in a more pronounced way as we go through the session. Nifty heat map should give you a quick sense of which way things are, starting out. And it's mostly down. I think almost 40 odd stocks are lower, about 10 stocks are higher this morning.
Well, a couple of stocks. We start with BSE. The street was anticipating a big gash. That hasn't happened. In fact, BSE is just about 0.8%, 1.2% now lower as we speak. So, the pre-open was a much sharper cut. Right now, as we speak, the cut is accelerating just a little bit, 1.5%. Hindustan Zinc, the block trade has happened, down 6% right now. So let's see where this goes from here as well. And then we are seeing some stocks which continue to do well. Zydus Wellness, yesterday there was that large trade that took place in pre-open. TPG sold out. The buyer was Parag Parikh Fund, and that stock has opened with a gain of almost 3%. Axis Cades is the other one, which from yesterday's up move of 5% continues into today as well. But just as Hindustan Zinc was lower, we have Vedanta, which is higher by about 1.8%. So they get the money. Also, things look favorable for them, as Nigel pointed out earlier. Polycab, the BharatNet business doing well for them. That stock up around 1.5%. On the way down, Biocon, after the QIP opening yesterday, 4,500 crore, opens about 2% lower. And Voltas as well, the management did meet some analysts, made a comment on how demand was impacted by unseasonal rains in peak summer months. And that stock too is down about 2%. Nigel.
Well, that's right. The Hindustan Zinc large trade has got out of the way. So now all eyes are on Vedanta. They have that dividend meet today. And let's see how much is on their radar, because they got close to around 2,500 to 2,800 crores from Hindustan Zinc. Now they'll have additional money. So we'll have to see what do they want to do with that. So that's a stock that we'll be keeping on our radar. Sterlite Technologies cooling off after the big run that we have seen, in the last couple of days. BSE, from the lows of the day, actually, it's seen a solid recovery, actually, BSE, because the markets, as it is, were sensing that there's something coming on those lines. So if you look at it from the day's low, the stock has bounced, I think, close to around 3.5%, 4% or thereabouts. A bit of shorts, I think, covering out on BSE itself. Sky Gold, there's a large trade, I think, that's taken place because volumes are very, very high. The stock is down close to around 5%. So keep an eye out on that one as well. HCC, that's another name. That's a little bit lower on rather large volume. So that's another one. I think from the Nifty, the top gainer actually right now is Indices Bank. Big move, big volumes, stock up 3.5%. And as we did that market check, the Nifty from being down by close to around 70 points is now down only around 20 points.
There's one stock, it's Avenue Supermarts. I'm looking at that one. It's up around 1.5%. Has been doing okay-ish this week. It's up around 2%. An interesting development that took place yesterday. They opened their first store in Uttar Pradesh. And typically, their cluster-based expansion tells you that if they open the first store, over the next 6 months, the store expansion in that space is much more accelerated. And the one thing that the street was eyeing for Avenue Supermarts is store expansion. If they go into the most populous state of the country and, expand out there, that could be a positive for them, which explains why the street has taken this opening of one store positively, because it suggests opening of many more stores.
First in UP.
First in UP.
Oh my God, that's 20 years after, 25 years later, right?
So I remember this, conversation once I happened to have with Radhakishan Damani, in private, and he said that if I don't see 20 stores in a place, I don't open even the first store. This was pre, DMart listing.
Okay. All right. So keep an eye out on this one. Interesting. 1.5% higher. So 4116 is where we have the DMart stock, the Avenue Supermart stock, which is starting up. Well, I think market breadth is down in a pronounced way. 1,500 stocks are lower, 630 stocks are higher, and that's clear skewed lower at this point. Sky Gold is down 4.5%. I think we mentioned that, and of course Hindustan Zinc is down as well. Vari is down 2%. I think large Premier, which is the other solar company, that is That also comes up. I remember speaking with Premier recently, and they said, well, there's enough demand locally, at least for the next couple of years. So exports is optionality. So it's not as if, that's what they're depending on in that sense. So keep an eye. Voltas is down 2%. So these are some of the big volume-led losers. Our power has been a stunner mover this year. I think it was down 5 yesterday, 5 today, but just profit booking, but almost 500,000 shares on it already on Reliance Power. Orient Cement is seeing an outsized move. Orient Cement is down 14%. I think yesterday also but yesterday it had a large move on the upside. So a close on Monday was 288, close yesterday was 300 plus, and back at about 260 right now, Orient Cement. So 74,000, 75,000 shares traded. Happiest Minds down 2. Sterlite Tech has had a phenomenal move led by very large volumes over the last few sessions. And Sterlite is seeing some profit booking down about 5%. Some of these are just pure reversals. Look at something like IKS. IKS was up 7%, it's down 5% today. So I guess little to sort of take signals from these kind of price actions, which are just sort of flip-flop from one day to the next.